Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms, the email doomdailyshow@gmail.com, everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms, the website www.jestersvoice.com. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, April 16th, 2026. Good morning. I hope everybody is having a fantastic morning out there in internet radio land, or is it internet radio universe, internet radio world, whatever. Crank this shit up in your car so the people next to you can hear the show and what you're listening to. It's really funny. Every once in a while, I'll go back and I'll listen to an episode of the show. Not because I'm in any way conceited or like the sound of my own voice, but because I just want to keep it's quality control. Okay, I have to make sure the levels are correct. Like, do I have too much background noise happening? Like, did the AC kick on and I forgot? Like, did I say something I might have regretted saying? Do I need to compensate for something that I may have over-exaggerated or decompensate for something I over-exaggerated? Like, you know, it's a quality control thing. So I'm driving down the road the other day in my truck. I was like, you know what? We're going to throw a Doom Daily on just because I haven't listened in a while, just to see, you know, if I made any mistakes or, you know, and the biggest reason, ladies and gentlemen, I go back and I listen to the show, the biggest fucking reason. If you've listened to me, I've been podcasting since 2019. If you've listened to me since then, you'll know that I'll have a trigger word or like a buzzword, and I'll get hung up on that word for weeks. And I go back and listen to every once in a while just to make sure that I'm not using a word 100 times in one show. And a lot of people refer to these as pause words. They forget it's okay to take a breath or leave a second or two of dead air. That's not a bad thing. What is a bad thing is to use the word in every sentence before you form your next one. It's really bad to go like all those things. And I've caught myself doing that. So anyway, I go back and I listen mainly to make sure I'm not using any pause words. My favorite pause word is so. I use that one a lot. I use it in my videos all the time. Like every video starts with so. Check this out. But anyway, like I said, I'm listening to the show. I've got the windows down in the truck and I'm pulling up to a grocery store because I had to get a script from the pharmacy there. And I have people looking very intrigued as they hear the voice coming out over the speakers of the truck. Now, I myself have been desensitized listening to my own voice. A long time ago that happened. When I first started getting into podcasting, when I started sharing the show and talk to different people in the podcast world, they said, you know, you really have a voice for this. You have a very powerful radio voice. And I've been compared to other people that are in social media or that are voice actors. And sometimes I hear it, sometimes I can see it. Yeah, that I get why they're saying I sound like this person or whatever. But it got me wondering, were these people looking and their heads turning because they recognize the voice, or because they thought they recognized the voice because it sounds like somebody else that is a well-known person? You know, what was it? And then it got me to really thinking. These shows do significantly more well when they're shared out with commentary. Now, I went ahead and took a little hiatus over the weekend. We went down to Florida. We celebrated Orthodox Easter, and Producer Scooter took the lead and got some things done for us. And then I got back and had to go into work and totally forgot that I had to work, and kind of last minute, hey, Producer Scooter, I need some help with an episode. Sure, Dooms, I got you. And in this little hiatus I took from the show, I went on, I just went and Googled, the Doom Daily Show to just see what it's populated on the Google page. And to my surprise, Google's insight on the show is like spot on correct. It talks about how I am the host and how me and Producer Scooter do this show together, and talks about like just the accurate depiction of the show, like what Google came up with their AI algorithm, which was I found to be very fascinating. And it really got me thinking. There's not too many people out there that this show aligns with. It's either you flat out like the show or you don't, is kind of the gist I'm getting, like how Google kind of puts it together, right? Because the topics are widely, like, even Google's like, yeah, like, it's kind of just Doom's talking about his daily bullshit with a little bit of this and a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's pretty much it. So I think that this show eventually acquiring a very strict target audience is going to be difficult. And how I tell you guys every week, give me that IRL. Well, we can see the numbers. And we know if a new person's downloading, and we know if there's a new follower, and we can see what kind of platforms people are on. We could see how many downloads we're getting on Spotify or Apple or iOS or whatever. We could see it. So don't bullshit a bullshitter. Give me that IRL, okay? We'll be back right after these messages.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I'm your host, Jester Dooms. Go to the website, jestersvoice.com. Get yourself an apocalyptic apparel t-shirt while supplies last, of course. Everyone on social media, at Jester Dooms. Go there. Check out all the social media content. Instead of doing, the normal news and going through that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to rap about some things that, me just being gone for a few days and coming back to the show. First off, I got to give a big shout out to producer Scooter for taking the time out of his day to put content out there when I'm unable to. So thank you, producer Scooter. All the listening, all the listeners, guys, if it wasn't for producer Scooter in the background doing what he does, it would be an absolute pain in the nuts to keep this a daily show. It really fucking would be. So there's that. So thank him for all the things that he's doing over there in the background. The other thing is, being that I was on hiatus, I was also unable to do my other show, which is the It's Doomsday Podcast. Now, my co-host, Local Prepper, was good enough to put out an episode all by himself and get that going. And of course, producer Scooter, being the awesome person he is, does our editing and things in the background, produces the show. So these guys kept things rocking and rolling, man. It was fan-fucking-tastic. It was really good. And I went back and listened, I go back and I listen to see what, LP did on the other show, just to check in and make sure things are good, that things didn't go south or he didn't shit talk me too bad. It was a really good episode. So if you're not listening to the It's Doomsday Podcast, you absolutely should be. Now, what we did was, so for those of you guys that don't know, I married a Greek girl, okay? We've been together for a long time now, all right? We've been together, 13 years? 13 years. Started dating 13 years ago, okay? It's my longest relationship. And I didn't know much about the Greek community at all before I got with my wife. And I didn't know that they had a separate Easter that they celebrated. They celebrate Orthodox Easter, which is the Greek Easter, which I refer to as Greekster. And sometimes it falls close. Sometimes it falls on the same day. It's usually within about a week, though. And we celebrated traditional Easter at home. And then, she really, because Easter, it was a week apart, she was really like, I want to go to Greek town and I want to celebrate it at the Greek church and do all the things and, see her Greek parents and do all the things. And so we did. So we took a trip down to Florida and basically left Thursday evening when the kids got out of school. Picked the kids up from school, started driving, had all their stuff packed to the car, got them from school and hit the highway. And got down to our Airbnb at 3:30 in the morning-ish. And then I don't think anybody got to sleep till about 5. Back up at 9 something. So everybody was running on fumes on Friday. We pretty much just bebopped around the area and went and had some dinner somewhere and kind of hung out and didn't do a whole lot on the Friday when we got there. It was like getting a settled in kind of a situation. And then Saturday had friends come over that I haven't seen in a little while. We went and had breakfast. My wife went and got a new tattoo. So the last time we were in Florida was for Thanksgiving. I snuck off on that trip and got her a gift certificate for a tattoo for Christmas, because she has been on this kick that I want another tattoo, but she will not spend the money on herself to do it. So I was like, oh, this will be the perfect Christmas gift. I'll sneak into this tattoo shop. I'll get her a fucking gift card. This will be great. Next time we're down here, she can get a tattoo. She got a very beautiful, big piece. So she was ecstatically happy. Met up with our friends. They hung out for a little while, and then, or that was Friday. Yeah, we got the tattoo Friday. Hung out with friends on Friday. Sorry, that's what we did on Friday. Saturday, we decided to go to the Renaissance Festival, which was fantastic. And, when I go and I travel and I go to a Ren fair, I go to one of these things, it's like I don't like spending money on the crap that's there, because you can typically find this shit on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Temu, somewhere very fucking cheap, unless it's a handmade piece. And usually a lot of the things that are handmade are so overpriced, I just don't want one. Like, yeah, they're cool, but I'm not paying $140 to have this burnt piece of wood hang on the wall. Like, I don't fucking need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. So, and I've learned something about these places too, like these little shops that they set up at these different festivals. So there was one shop there that had all these swords and like these different melee weapons and stuff. Like, it was really cool. They had a lot of good stuff going on. Now, at first glance, the big battle axes and the swords are what catches your eye, and then you look a little bit closer, and then you just see an abundance of knives. And that's how they get you in there. But they're all cheapo knives. Like, they're all Bud K catalog shit. They're all eBay shit or Amazon shit or, buy in bulk discounted MTech shit. Like, they're all kind of crap. Not saying that there's not some good stuff mixed in with all these things on the table, but a lot of these guys do this trick where it's come in because there's so much to look at. 90% of the shit we know you're not going to fucking buy, but it gets you in here to buy the $200 sword. It gets you in here to buy the $75 dagger. It gets you in here to buy the $450 battle axe that you're never going to fucking use, that's going to hang on your wall, that could have paid a fucking car payment, right? That's the tactic. And once you see this, once you know what's going on, it makes you want to spend your money less. But I went into this little cool shop that they had set up at the Ren Fair, and the lady's telling me, like, yeah, everything that's here comes from Nepal. Now, that doesn't mean it's awesome. That just means that's where it comes from, okay? She's got all these hats and dresses and handbags and all these things. And so she's got all these handbags and dresses and hats and clothes and all these different random things that are made from some kind of Nepalese material. And as I'm going through there and I'm looking at this stuff, I spot something that catches my eye. She's got a little corner shelf kind of hidden away, like a little corner, not really corner shelf, but it's a shelf that's kind of, as you walk in, it's on the inside and you really can't see it. It's like behind where you walk in. And on the shelf is a couple of large padlocks that are not the shape of regular padlocks, that use skeleton keys. And one was in the shape of a lion's head, and there were two more in the shape of like owls. I have no clue why, but holy shit, if I didn't gravitate toward that owl lock. And I said, do you know who makes these? She goes, I don't know. They just come from Nepal, pretty much. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm looking at it. I'm playing with it. I'm opening it up with the skeleton keys. And I'm like, this is really freaking cool. Like, I don't know what I would use this for, but I want it. I said, how much is it? Because it's $45. It's $45 for a padlock that takes a skeleton key that is custom made in the shape of an owl. It sounds a little on the pricey side, right? It does. But I also know what it takes for these people to be in business, and I like to support the small people. And I like to have souvenirs. So I told this lady, I was like, listen, I said, I'll come back. I said, I'm not going to walk around and carry a big padlock around with me the whole time I'm here. I said, before I leave, I'm coming back to get it. And I'm sure she hears that shit all the fucking time. So I go back and I get the damn padlock. Now, I paid $45 for a souvenir at this place. Cool beans, right? Whatever. But I didn't spend $300 on something that I'm going to hang on the damn wall. Now, what I'm going to do with this padlock, I don't know. But this would be the perfect thing for if you had the entrance to a garden and it was all like wrought iron fencing and you wanted to keep it locked up, just simply so like the kids aren't in there like taking peppers and tomatoes. That would be perfect for that. If you had some really nice ornamental ironwork around your home and you had a certain gate at your house that you rarely opened up that you wanted a padlock on, like that padlock would be fantastic. Because because it's a skeleton key lock, it's obviously not the most stout, secure thing, right? And obviously there's a mechanism in there and it's hollow. It's not a master lock that's made with like all the plated steel and stuff, so it's not as durable, but it was a very cool find, a very cool purchase. So we did that. We went to the beach. One of the kids got wicked sunburn. You try to tell the kids just numerous times, like, you need to put sunscreen on, come over here, and they just kind of do their thing, and, then whatever. So spent some time at the beach, went and got some good food, went back to the Airbnb, hung out for a little while, woke up. Well, I think some of them took a nap, woke up, and then went off to the Greek midnight Easter celebration, which is, it's an experience. So the celebration kicks off at midnight. There's a tradition. Every year there's a flame lit. Now, don't quote me on this, but the holy flame is lit overseas, I believe in Jerusalem, okay? And a priest or some subject of the Orthodox community puts this flame, singularly lit flame, in a lantern, and then they fly this heavily guarded flame. They fly this to the U.S. And this one flame gets passed out and distributed amongst all of the churches, all of the Orthodox churches, somehow miraculously, okay? And they keep this flame lit, all right? This holy fire. At midnight, all the lights go out, and the priest comes out with a flame that's been lit from this holy flame and starts passing this out. And you as a community at the church start lighting each other's candles, all from this one flame that's traveled across the world to get here, heavily guarded, government funded, crazy, right? Then, before the lights come on and just about the time everybody's got their candles lit, it's fireworks and explosions to scare off the devil, and he has risen. It's officially Easter. Then everybody does their big celebrations the next day. My father-in-law roasted 2 lambs. I ate a ton of lamb. After the eating of the lamb, we went back to the house. Friends came over. We just sipped whiskey on the rocks, man. Pretty much the whole night. Me, my friend, my father-in-law we drank, between the 3 of us, a whole damn bottle of Irish whiskey. So, yeah, whole bottle of Irish whiskey. Woke up the next day, got everybody in the car, and proceeded to head back home. The in-laws came by and said goodbye in the morning. We got in the car and started driving. Spent about 13 and a half hours on the road, I believe. Maybe closer to 14 hours. I think 14 hours. I had made the decision to try to find a new way to avoid taking the traditional highways that Google wants you to take. I swear to God, there's a conspiracy behind I-95, and I haven't figured it out yet. But there is something going on. So I had I had 2 GPSs going, navigating these back roads to get out of Florida, and discovered some very interesting things about the history of the roads in Florida, getting, different ways to get in and out. And just, for someone that lived in Florida for 10 years, you think I would have thought about this or had this figured out. But I think I finally hit that pinnacle to where I'm sick of the shitty drive and I want it to be better. And what can I do to make that happen? And ladies and gentlemen, what I discovered was Highway 441 leaving Florida. So 441 is more or less central to the state, more or less. Okay. And it is a lovely back road with no billboards, no cops, barely any traffic, barely any semi-trucks, that just pretty much takes you through the Florida wilderness, through some farmland here or there, all the way up well into Georgia. Okay. Now, this road was pretty much constructed and got going during the Prohibition era, so 20s and 30s. Okay. And it is what's really interesting about this particular road is that it is unusually straight and flat. Now, you think about a road that was formed in the 20s with not having, GPS and not having these automatic graders on heavy equipment and stuff, and not having, the grade sensors that are utilizing the transit that's placed somewhere on the ground. Like, none of this computerized bullshit, no GPS. Like, this road in my opinion, is an astonishing victory for Americans to have built in the 20s. When you see how straight it is and you see how flat it is and you see how long these straightaways run and how perfect they are, and you think that these guys did this back in the day, probably with like line of sight telescopes, string, shovels, very crappy heavy equipment, maybe some horses pulling stumps out. Like that, think about it. Now, I'm sure there's been a lot of improvements made over the years, but nobody's using this road. There's no truck stops. There's no gas stations. If you take it, fuel up first. But I've never had such a pleasant drive out of Florida before. It was absolutely mind-blowing. And I think that's going to pretty much be my new go-to as far as traversing in and out of Florida, is taking the 441. Anyway, I just thought I would share that because it made me extremely happy. Now, if you're wondering where, all the ads are in this show and why we didn't have as many breaks, I figured, you know what, you guys you could deserve an episode without a bunch of stuff because we're always plugging away with all these different ads and things. But I will say this. Like I said, producer Scooter and myself, we watch the numbers. It's imperative that you guys start sharing this out. Share this with your coworkers, your friends, your family. Listen to it in the car when you're riding around with a new friend. Turn other people on to the show because that helps us out. It helps out the WESN network. Okay, it helps, and we watch the numbers. We see the downloads coming in. We see new followers come in. Like we see all these things. But what we also see is you guys aren't sharing the way you should be. You're not posting it on your Facebook feed. You're not sharing it out. I don't know when the next trip is going to be, and I don't know how we're going to manage doing this show from afar whenever I'm in Greece this year. But that could be a topic for another day. With the war heating up and things not seeming like there's a resolution too close in the near future, we might actually be calling off our trip. We're waiting to find out. We're waiting to see what happens. But anyway, guys, once again, if you haven't done so already, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Appreciate all of you. Producer Scooter, thank you for everything it is you do. And if you would, sir, hit that button.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.